Well, Joel, to me, you've also always been a model of just building deep into men's lives. You and Ted Shimmer are two of my heroes. I call you the most thorough disciplers that I know, and you always ask me to come talk to your staff or students about disciple making, and I feel like I need to be asking you to come speak to me about it.
Because I think we're having you come to our summer project here in a month, Chad.
Well, I'm going to be back down in, well, not Florida, but the Gulf Coast at Gulf Shores with you guys, and I'm anxious to hear what I have to say at that conference.
So are we.
Yeah, but I think some of our listeners sometimes think it takes some sort of a gargantuan personality, to attract and disciple others. But to me, you've always had kind of a quiet, behind the scenes, humble personality. Is there a certain personality or set of gifts, Joel, required to make disciples, or can anybody do it? I know that's kind of a setup question, but
sure.
But what would you say, brother?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, Chad. It's something that I think we all wonder. We all wrestle with. We all feel our own inadequacies and insecurities, and we know the answer is no. We know that the Great Commission obviously is for everyone. Now, I think we'd have to admit that different personalities have different strengths that can be leveraged. Someone who is gregarious is going to disciple probably different than someone who's maybe more introverted and intellectual. Some people are more gifted apostolically. Some people are more nurturing, more shepherding, and they're dynamic. Some people tend to be, I've found, either more people gatherers in general, and some people are maybe more people developers, kind of the X's and O's and all. I mean, and so yeah, there's diversity, in our personalities and in your Enneagram or Myers-Briggs, whatever. But, I think that while you can leverage those strengths, at the end of the day, I've just found that the men and women who disciple most effectively and most thoroughly, really are characterized by, number one, authenticity. They're not trying to be something they're not. They're leveraging who God's made them to be, and they're leading and discipling, out of that. So there's an authenticity, there's a genuineness there in the way they relate to people and the way that they invest in them. In addition to that, I think the best disciplers, they're just committed to life on life. They come alongside people, they model, they show them, the way. And they really give just kind of that demonstration of following Christ and laboring for him. And then thirdly, I just think the best disciplers just intentionally develop people. They nurture them well, they develop them well. It's kind of what, Paul talks about in 1 Thess chapter 2, which I think is just one of the greatest chapters on how do we minister, how do we make disciples, where you see Paul's heart, you see his character, you see his authenticity. You see that nurturing character, that life on life, that he uses the mother, metaphor to describe. But then he just talks about the intentional development of a father that encourages and comforts and urges people to live lives, worthy of God, who's called us into his kingdom and glory. And so as I think about just even those three characteristics, just authenticity, life on life, care and modeling, and just intentional development, to me, those three ingredients, they transcend personalities. It's not specific based upon your wiring. It's not even specific based upon your gifting. That's something that all of us can do. We can all be authentic. We can all come alongside people, give our lives away to them, and we can all really just intentionally develop, other men or other women. And so I think that our effectiveness, correlates more with those things than it necessarily does our personalities or our giftings, even though we should be seeking to steward those, to leverage those, and really maximize the strengths that God's given us, for sure.